I was able to win URA Finale with Vodka as a completely free-to-play player, and right now you can see this moment even without activation of her skill. So in this video I'm going to explain the strategy, how I was able to do it, what I was aiming for, what kind of cards I was using, and so on. Let's begin. So first of all, what you should know about Vodka is that she is going to follow the late style of a gameplay. She is really good on mile and medium distances, that's pretty much obvious from her descriptions, and the track is going to be turf. Well, pretty much obvious, we have only a single one free-to-play dirt runner, and for her it's kind of an important moment to understand that most of the time she's going to be on the last positions till the last one spur, when she's going to push herself, let's say, to limits to overcome other opponents. That's why for her power is really that important. Basically it's a parameter which is going to give such an ability to push herself, to increase her speed and to reach first positions. The stamina is going to be also an important one parameter, because this is obviously like an HP. So parameters from stamina are going to be converted into HP, and basically from any game you should understand that HP is basically a survivability of a character, and when she's going to push her to the limits, let's say she's going to use certain amount of HP. So that's why you want to have quite decent numbers here as well for exactly this one last push to survive the run. Basically speed is the major one parameter for everyone, so you should keep in mind that this is an important stat for basically all Umas, and specifically for her style of run, for her style of gameplay, you want to have these three parameters at the end, somewhat around 600 or better higher, with certain exceptions for stamina. When we're going to talk about guts, for now this is not a really important one parameter. If you have it like around 200, 300, good, but it's not really that important. Wheat is kind of an important one, and you want to have it at around 300, because at this moment it's going to, let's say, provide you certain chances to activate your skills, and at 300 you will have around 70% chance to activate her acceleration skill, which is going to boost her performance during the last period of a distance. So yeah, that's pretty much about the stats, what you should aim for. Now about how you wanna do this. So that's a funny moment in my case, because basically I wasn't borrowing any legacy Umas for creating my Vodka, which is kind of insane, because some legacy Umas from guests from your friend list, you're able to get some decent bonus stats from the very beginning. In my case, I was basically focusing on three main stats, so I was looking for Umas in my list which are going to increase speed, stamina and power. And if I recall correctly, it was this one Uma and this one Uma. So yeah, they both together, they're boosting speed, stamina and power. Additionally, I had like plus 10 for each of them. So when we're going to put this one and this one, we see here a circle. This is a good sign, let's say, not going deep into details, but yeah, you don't want to have a triangle here. Ideally, of course, you want to focus on such stats which are going to be the main for her, and for legacy Umas you want to have such increase for speed, mostly for power and for stamina. Now let's talk about support cards that I've been using, and here are a couple that are kinda matter, and I mean a lot. First one is going to be the special week, the card which you're able to receive from the event for free, completely without a lot of issues, and this one is important for speed and is going to play some role for specifically late surgers, which is our case, and she's going to provide the skill which is called Late Surger Savvy. Basically she's going to increase the ability to get into a good position for late surgers. This is an important moment because we're always going to be behind on the first half of the track, and we're going to be surrounded by other Umas, which is going to potentially prevent our sprint at the end at the second half of the race. So this is positioning is kind of matters for late surgers a lot. And also from support effects, we're going to receive some speed bonuses, mood effect, friendship bonuses. They kind of matter a lot because when you're trying to build, let's say, friendship with other support cards, the earlier you will be able to reach the goal, reach 80% of the friendship, the more effects, the more bonuses for stats you're going to receive. This one card, it's another speed card, Silent Suzuka. She's more for front runners, for sprinters, but this is another speed card, so in my case I'm using two of them. I'm going to explain why. And she is also providing some specialty priority, so the frequency when she's going to pop up on this position. Basically she is going to be there more often, and you will be able to get from this more additional speed stats. Also friendship bonuses, mood effect, which kinda important as well. From the skills, there is nothing that really is going to be helpful for us in our case, because again, she is mostly for front runners. Almost always in your deck you wanna have the width card, which is going to boost the stat. Also for fine motion, she's going to additionally give at the very beginning some additional stats for width. She's going to increase, also she has specialty priority, and she's going to increase training effectiveness, friendship bonuses. Also from the skills which you are able to receive from her, the most important one is going to be Nimble Navigator, which is going to be important again for our character. This skill is going to increase maneuverability when the way ahead is blocked in the last spurt, which is always the case because we're running behind, and almost always we're going to have a lot of opponents ahead which are going to block our way. So we want to avoid such situations. We want to find the way to reach the first spot, despite the fact that there are some other Umas around us and going to block the way. And for the friendship card, I decided to get myself the Super Creek. As you can see, the player has two advancements on this card. This is an important one. Basically, I consider this the most important card in this deck, so yeah, you ideally want to find some friend or have for yourself this card. Why is it important? Again, she is able to have a specialty priority, and she is often going to pop up for stamina trainings. Also increase the parameter at the very beginning, training effectiveness, friendship bonuses, and from her skills you're going to receive the most important ones, not gonna lie. So during career you are able to hit an event which is going to provide you with a skill called Swinging Maestro, and this skill is going to recover endurance on a corner with efficient turning. So it's an OP skill in our case, and you want to get it. The other one which is going to be important also, I consider it kind of important, the firm condition. Basically the last races they're going to be on a firm ground, so increase performance on firm ground. I actually used it during my run and I think it was helpful. For the left two cards I decided to go with power, two cards for power, both SRs, nothing that crazy. For example, Agnes Digital, she is able to provide some skills which are kinda useful for late surgers. In my case, I think I didn't use them if I recall it correctly. I guess not. But again, I needed her for some additional points into power when I'm going to train my Uma. And the last one, Bio High Height, as well, the same reason, nothing that special here. So at the end, the composition of skills that I had, you can see them here. The firm condition, The rainy days I actually get it at the end, just because why not, I could. Swinging Maestro, the Nimble Navigator, the Updrafters, so slightly increased passing ability when positioned toward the backlate race. So when you're kinda behind, in most of the cases this might be helpful during the run. The Slick Surge is going to be also an important one because it's going to increase acceleration late race, so I always choose this skill. The Iron Will, I decided to take it because we need to save as many endurance at the very beginning of the race. We're going to be kinda blocked by everyone, so I decided that this skill might be kinda useful for the last one runs. And also, yeah, now you can see my stats that I had for my Uma at the end for the final run, let's say. So now I'm going to show you the final performance for the final runs and speak a little bit about the strategy on the early game. Basically, for the first 2 seasons you want to focus on building your friendship with support cards that you're using and look for options when you have at least 2 Umas in the same spot, or better 3 or even 4. Whenever you have such an option, you want to use them. When you're lacking a little bit with energy, you want to hit the wheat. Minimize the amount of turns which you're going to use for relaxation, let's say, to have rest and balance your energy a little bit better. But when you're lacking a lot, of course you're going to rest. And about the mood, this is an important one parameter. At the end you want to have it at maximum possible level, because this is going to increase and improve your overall performance. This is going to matter a lot, but during the early stages I didn't work on it specifically. You have certain conditions and certain events that are going to improve it on its own without any issues. Actually, Vodka, she is kinda mood changing character, so it's not really that easy sometimes to balance her mood. But the most important thing here is to avoid fails during your trainings, because this is going to be just a huge disaster. By the end you should be able to reach it to the great level without any extra turns, let's say, and activities. So yeah, ideally you want just to avoid fails. Focusing on friendships, focusing on building up it to 80%. This is going to help you and increase the overall performance in terms of trainings. You're going to receive more stats. So first, let's say 2 seasons, they don't really matter that much stat wise. When we're talking about the second part of the first half of career, you're going to start focusing more on some specific parameters, on some specific stats. So the first one run I was lucky. Actually, I had to use a single one alarm clock. I kinda lost it, second place, but that was close. Unfortunately it happens, so yeah, I had 3 available alarm clocks for the final runs. I was talking about the stats for the second part of the first half, let's say. You're starting to focus more on power and stamina. Basically, from other activities you're able to receive some additional stats into speed, so I wasn't focusing that much on speed on early game. Mostly power, mostly stamina, and wheat whenever it's going to be available, with some increased events, let's say. Whenever the Creek card is going to be on her position, on her spot for stamina, you're going to use it. So on early stages I was able to build 300-400 points into stamina and have more or less on the same level the power and the speed. The width was a little bit below, like around 220, 250, something like that. On guts I wasn't really focusing that much, so it's not really that important. But overall, whenever you're getting closer to the final part, you want to focus more on power and building up to 600 and probably higher, and this is going to also give some additional stats into stamina when you're going to hit this training. So I was preferring power over speed to the third quarter, let's say, of overall my career. For the final part I was focusing more on speed, and also speed is going to actually, the speed training I mean, give some additional stats into power. So as you can see, I have more power rather than speed. It is what it is. But yeah, during the summer period I was boosting the stats that again matters the most. So basically I was following the strategy to have enough energy to hit all the trainings during the summer period, during the camp period. One time I was using wheat, all the rest times I was using or stamina or power. On the second such event I was focusing more on speed to balance my overall stats. That's pretty much it. And here we're starting with the final one run. So here I believe I'm not even top 5 favorite, and when we're looking at number 1, the stats aren't that crazy, let's say. They're all rank C. I believe it's number 1 because higher guts and higher wheat in compared to mine. But yeah, I have better speed, I have better stamina, I believe even, I mean stamina, I have better power, and I believe even stamina I have better than this. But yeah, let's have a look at the run. So as you can see, I'm in the last part of the pack. I'm kind of blocked by everyone, there is no way for me to overcome. At the last stage I am activating the skill, but that's not enough. I believe it's top 4. Yeah, top 4, so not really good. I have 2 more tries, let's say. I'm using the alarm and I'm praying for some luck. Let's say we're starting the second one run. So again, we're somewhere in the middle of the pack, we're surrounded by everyone, other Umas are blocking my way, like everyone, and I'm activating skill again, but again that's not enough. I'm not able to overcome the others, and right now it's even worse. Top no, it's actually top 4 still. I was thinking that it was top 5, but yeah. And I have the last one attempt, so I was thinking, okay, I guess there is no way, but why not to try it? Let it be, maybe I'll get a little bit lucky. And we're starting the run. I am top 8 and the funny moment that I'm running on the left side from the pack, so nobody is blocking my way ahead. And even, can you believe it, even without activation the skill, I was able to reach the final line, the finish. I was able to overcome all the other opponents because my way wasn't blocked. I just got lucky. I was running on the left side of the track. My line was empty, nobody was preventing my sprint on the final part. That's why I was able to win it. But hey, it's a win. So yeah, ideally I guess you want to have a little bit more power at the end, a little bit more stamina, let's say around 700, ideally of course 800, and when we're talking about stamina, something like 600 to 700. This is like an ideal world, but right now, especially when we're talking about free-to-play players, I believe it's not really possible. It is what it is, but I hope this was helpful and you enjoyed this video, so don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, write a comment, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.